What is up, YouTube? It is Doc here, Docky Style Gaming, and I am back at it again with another GodFall video for you all today. Now, this video might be a bit different than normal, but I'm going to touch on certain things towards the end of the video. But since I'm covering GodFall on the channel, I might as well cover this as well. So before I get into the main topic, I do want to at least bring up the new lore information that we got from yesterday's trailer, because I actually watched quite a few trailer reactions, and there was a lot of people that still seemed a bit confused, so I broke it down essentially in layman's term for all of y'all so y'all can understand what's happening in the trailer. And thanks to a recent article that dropped today from GameSpot, we also know the name of the person who was inside the Silvermane Valorplate, and his name is Orin. So I'll be referring to him as both Orin and Macros. Now, I did make a lore video talking about what happened before the events of this trailer, so if you want to go check that out, I'll leave a link probably somewhere up here on the video, and you can watch that and see what happened leading up to the start of this trailer with the Archons, the big war that happened, them sending them to the spirit realm and everything like that. But this essentially is what starts and sets the main story of the game into motion. So let's just hop straight into breaking down what all we actually got from this brand new trailer lore-wise. So the trailer starts after the events of the Valorian and Archon War. Again, just mentioned that, link will be somewhere here. A war that essentially took out a lot of lives, but also sent all 12 of the Archons back to the spirit realm. Next, we see that the Valorians had essentially accomplished what they set out to do, and that's build a better civilization. And Macros, now with Orin's blessing publicly, he now has the power, the respect, trust, and reputation among the people of Empyrean, which is the world that this game takes place in. Now, with this promotion of power, Macros apparently turned the people against each other, and now a new war for the monolith is about to begin. Essentially pitting brother against brother and army against army. They go to war, and Macros' army comes out as the victor. Now, up in top the Skybreaker's monolith is where the true showdown begins, where we are pitting off brother against brother, Orin versus Macros. But just like Orin's army, he fell to Macros and was left for dead. But ultimately, Orin survived, and with the remnants of the remaining Valorionite order, they now must fight their way through the elemental realms to stop an apocalyptic event and stop Macros, the mad god, atop the Skybreaker's monolith. So that's pretty much the gist of what we got from the trailer leading up to the events of the start of the game. But what I do want to talk about is how everything in this trailer may potentially be a lie. Now, this was all being spoken from Orin's perspective, and it was funny because I was thinking about this last night after rewatching the trailer, but then also somebody commented, I think earlier this morning, pretty much the same thoughts I had. I think his name was Grimbo in my comment section, how it seems like this story's missing a lot of key points, and some things are clearly taken out of context, which I kind of believe is the case. Now, what I'm about to get into is purely my own thoughts and theories about what actually is happening with the story and everything that we got so far. So you could take this all as a grain of salt, but again, something seems a bit fishy when it comes to the actual narrative of that trailer. Now, let's start with the key thing that also might just be slapping us right in the face. The very first line of this trailer is, "It was all a lie," with one of the next few lines being, "He would destroy us, he just didn't know it yet." In the scene where Silvermane is essentially crowning him as some form of leader, which then leads to the next scene where Orin says, "We were warriors, but he turned us against each other." Now, Macros does have his own army, and again, he was just appointed. So, for an army to be willing to follow Macros, especially this early on, it means he must have done something major to influence the people in the world of Empyrean. Now, was it because he was just appointed by Orin in a higher position, and that's why people were following him? I don't know, that doesn't seem like a logical stretch. But was it potentially because he was the one that originally sent the Archons back to the spirit realm? And is he known as the hero who essentially saved Empyrean? I mean, again, if we go back to the beginning of the trailer, we also see that in the aftermath of the Empyrean and Archon war, we do see all of the bodies on that battlefield, and even the Lord text said that the price of that battle, the price in blood, was pretty high. But we also see that at the start, Silvermane is struggling to get up, whereas Macros comes before him and it helps him up. Now, was Macros off, sending the Archons back to the spirit realm before coming to aid his brother? And then of course, right after that scene, we see Auron and Macros set off to do what they were originally supposed to do as Valorians, which was build a better civilization. But heading back to the battle between Auron and Macros' armies, we see that Auron is standing guard at the Skybreaker's monolith. As Macros charges towards them, of course we get that quick flash, and then Macros is walking around the battlefield almost remorseful. You can see him looking at all the dead bodies on the ground as if he really didn't want that death. Whereas Auron, on the other hand, has clearly left the battlefield and potentially all of his soldiers for dead because his army didn't win that war. Now, was Macros potentially trying to get to the Skybreaker's monolith to stop Auron? Whereas in the trailer, it seems like it was the other way around. Auron was trying to stop Macros. But then we cut to the Skybreaker's monolith and Auron is in there essentially activating, triggering, or searching for something. We also get to see a bit of the Four Realms as well. We still don't really know what the Skybreaker's monolith can do at the moment. But of course, we then get that fight that ensues where, again, Macros wins. Now, what's also interesting about this scene is that Macros goes to slay him and then ultimately doesn't. He kind of has this nod and then just kicks him off instead of actually killing his brother. And then we get the next line by Auron saying that Macros thinks this war is over. But the synopsis of the gameplay trailer says that Macros sits atop the Skybreaker's monolith. Doesn't really seem like he's starting a war necessarily. So is this trailer just one big lie? And Auron is the one that's kind of telling his side of the story and potentially lying to us as characters. Now, don't get me wrong, I will play devil's advocate and I'll talk about both sides, because Macros could still just be the villain, and in multiple instances, we do see that Macros glows purple and like black energy, well, both times when he gets the upper hand on Auron. And even one of the weapons he pulls out when he summons this ability is this really unique katana, a weapon we've never actually seen in the game, but it has like an Oni head or Japanese demon on the guard of that katana, which is interesting to take note of. And I swear, with all this purple and black energy, if I don't get a Korag themed Valorplate skin for Hinterclaw, I'm gonna be super salty. It's just purple, black, and gold. That's all you gotta do. Give me those three colors and I will be happy. I need me a Korag the Nightwolf skin for Hinterclaw. But back to the main thing, if Macros did in fact send the Archons back to the spirit realm, maybe he didn't send them all back, and maybe one of the Archons is within him, and that's where that dark energy actually comes from. I mean, potentially Macros is the main villain, but not by his own doing. I mean, even Auron said he would destroy us, he just didn't know it yet. And then he also said at the beginning that he sold us on a vision that he never believed in. So is Macros potentially being possessed by an Archon, trying to reopen the spirit realm and free all the other Archons who were sent there originally? Now that would cause a war that Auron had mentioned. The first war was between the Archons and the Valorians, which ended in massive destruction of the world and a pretty high death count. And if the Archons were to be set free after the battle between the Archons and the Valorians, and then the battle between Macros and Auron, as the game description states, we're the last remaining Knights of the Valorian Order. There aren't enough of us to stop the Archons this time if they were to be free. And I'm sure that the Archons would want to take revenge against the Valorians who trapped them in the spirit realm. And now one final thing that I did want to address as well is that the Valorians are referred to as godlike warriors, but never actually gods. But now Macros, on the other hand, is referred to as the Mad God Macros. Now, does that purple glow indicate that he is being possessed by an Archon? Maybe. Or has he managed to find a way to ascend to godhood somehow? Or, and here's the real kicker, is this all just a really huge reach and Macros is just a big bad because, reasons? I mean, I could be stretching, but hey, let me know what you all personally think and how this is actually going to play out. If Macros is in fact evil, is Auron actually the evil one and he's just decepting everybody? Or is Macros even possessed? Or is it just the classic case of bad guy's bad, we gotta stop him? Now, the main reason why I made this video is because when I saw the original trailer, I loved it, but as I kept watching it, it just kept feeling like something was off and something's not right, and I kind of wanted to discuss it. So again, let me know in the comment section what y'all personally think, and let's have a huge discussion about it, because I'm curious about what everybody thinks the story is gonna go. Is it gonna be an interesting twist? Is it gonna be a cliche by the numbers big bad? Are we being lied to by our potential main hero? Like, this could honestly go a few ways. ways, and I'm curious to know what you guys think, and I'm curious if any of my theories are in fact true. So again, let me know in the comment section what you all think. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching, and like always, links to all my social media accounts are in the video description. And if you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, don't. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. Peace.